So therefore, there are 5 traits that are dangerous in generals. Those who are ready to die can be killed. Those who are intent on living can be captured. Those who are quick to anger can be shamed. Those who are over-righteous can be disgraced. And those who love people can be troubled. Does everyone understand?
It's so simple, and since freedom itself is fundamental, it's time to even the score. I mean, war. Revolution's the institution this was built on. America, KKK, they did us real wrong. We want freedom, we don't know what it is. It's time to handle our biz. If he don't teach you right, he ain't gonna treat you right. The school system create victims that ain't ready to fight. My neighborhood be infected with rat roaches and drug dealers, thieves and cons, winos and thug niggas, bags and stitches, silly bitches and gold diggers. Cold niggas on the grind, it's time to mold niggas. We want power and freedom from oppression. The old fine rest while teaching their life's lesson. A unified body under God and Christ. So to have faith, we giving y'all a reason to fight. Now, I be the G in this deadly game, and that's general. We command respect cause we men are principle. Me and IQAhmath was spiritually identical. Now I'ma give you the game. I advocate freedom through violent means. Niggas need to stop watching that TV screen. If y'all want the secrets to war, then read your Bible. The Lord is a man of war with no rival. Clean out your rifle, brandish your handgun, make yourself a marksman. Get some understanding, learn you a technique, get some discipline. Life's all about positioning if you're listening, but y'all don't hear me though. Your mind's clouded. Even when Thomas seen Christ, he doubted. You don't think it can happen well and could see. You rather wait till the tanks is in the hood, G.
Let me warn my young pupils about being over-emotional. Quick-tempered people can be lured into coming to you by anger and embarrassment. Over-righteous people can be lured into coming to you by slander and disgrace. But on the flip side, good generals are otherwise. They are not committed to death and yet do not expect to live. They act in accord with events, not quick to anger, not subject to embarrassment.
Shit still don't stop. Snakes, demons, and warlocks. They hiding in the clefts of the rocks with the bolts locked. They change faces with Botox. Tamper with the motion of the clock. Run from hot, comfy, and shady spots. A speed now to make his head pop. Secure his neck with the fisherman's knot. It's warfare, mon frere. Better clip up. Hit the range, get your skills up. Niggas hit the cut when we wheel up. Wait a minute and hold up. I'm trying to plant seeds and watch them grow up. Exodus 15:3. Payback for dirty deeds. Psalms 83 decrees. Who's confederate against me? Causing spiritual amnesia. I'm blazing my heaters on these fork-tongued creatures. Because niggas talk tough but really gay like Roman Caesars. Trying to be men pleasers. These words can cause seizures to all you non-believers.
Okay, you gotta understand this. War is an art, a free and creative activity founded on scientific principles. It makes the very highest demands on a human personality. The conduct of war is subject to continual development. New weapons dictate ever-changing forms. Their appearance must be anticipated and their influence evaluated. They must be placed into service quickly.
I'm that kind that bust that rhyme, necessary bust that nine. Shots may vary according to time. Age for attacking, man, I'm in my prime. As the world spin, I recline. Everything be done by design, overseen by elevation of the mind. Same cats that think that crime don't pay, get caught inside and have to pay crime. Water to wine, how the brothers get tamed from the chosen to the blind. They religiously be reading the signs. That's why life they never find. Single file lines to pay them ties, aka cocaine lines. Sedated to truth, seeds without roof, half full on them sands of time. The devil slowly reveals his disguise. Each time the truth exposes another lie. They try to keep them sandcastles alive, but they wash away with the tide. Been nominated for the Robin Hood Award Prize. Smother the rich, come back to the bricks and divide. These white boys say what's mine is mine. You get deceased trying to get a piece of this pie. Drink your 40s and fuck your lie. Ask questions to why. Nigga, to the bottom most high.
Let me tell you about war. War subjects the individual to the most severe test of his spiritual and physical endurance. For this reason, character counts more in war than does intellect. Many who distinguish themselves on the battlefield remain unnoticed in peacetime. Yeah, that's right, unnoticed in peacetime, meaning they're camouflaged. But you can figure out who they are. These are your brothers that have discipline. You understand? You wake up, you get places early. You say you got to use the principles given to us by the Most High. You follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. This is what gives us the discipline. Discipline, one of the root words of disciple. You see what I'm saying? The disciples were regular brothers, but when it came down to it, what? They rose to the occasion. So this is your assignment. Open up your Bibles and study to show yourself approved. Class dismissed.
This is good. But what is best in life? The open steppe, fleet horse, falcons at your wrist, and the wind in your hair. Wrong! Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good. That is good.
All right, mic check 1 2 1 2. If I'm coming in clear, throw 7 in the chat. There I go, frozen again, boy. This thing be tripping, man. I don't get it. I don't understand what is going on. If I'm coming in clear, man, throw a 7 in the chat for your brother, man. Do me that solid. All right. All praises to the Most High while you're Howard Shah. This is another episode of DSTM. This is your brother IQAhmath. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same. Appreciate y'all tapping in, letting me know that I'm coming in clear. Even with that song right there, where the scriptures give notice about, when Conan said that what was a good victory? What was it? Crush his enemies and see the fall of his enemies and hear the lamentation of the women. You know, the scriptures also tell us that too. I think there's a scripture in the Apocrypha that mentions that one of the things that a man is glorified in is when he sees the fall of his enemy, you know, and that's always a blessed thing, man. And we're moving in on the times where we're going to see the fall of our enemies, man. Lord willing, we all make it to the end. Lord willing, we are found worthy and worthy elect that escape, you know, the incoming Jacob's trouble and the hell that's going to be on this earth, literally and figuratively. And we see the fall of our enemies, man. You know, he's on a crash course, man. He's doing a great job of fulfilling all the prophecies as we discussed last week. He's doing a great job of that. So, you know, all praise to the Most High, man. We see as time going on, things is ratcheting it up even more. You see the sleeper cells is getting activated. Trump then authorized the Doomsday planes. That's right, Doomsday planes to head to the Middle East. You've got Iran and Russia talking about this is going to be the end of days, the end of the world. I mean, you can't get more biblical in nature and conversation, in politics, in media, you know, you name it. You can't get more biblical than what's going on right now. Anybody that has any doubts about the scriptures, anybody has any doubts about the eschatology or the prophecies of the scriptures, you know, you need your head examined. You might need a lobotomy. You might need to go ahead on and just fast, pray, do what you got to do, because Ray Charles just gave me a call from the tomb, man, and said he could even see it. Yeah. So let's get to it, man. I don't want to be what do you call it? Belabor the point. Is that a word? Who knows? But hopefully everybody's doing well, man. Let me salute my peoples that's in the house, man. My man Ron in the house, Shalom Buak. Shabbat Shalom to the house of Bayan. Kohath in the house, Shalom Buak. Ashar, Shalom to you, Shalak, Uziel, Naquab, the usual riders, man. Shalom to y'all, man. The house of Byron in the house, man. Shalom to you in your house, bro. And everybody else, man, is gonna be tuning in as time progresses. You know, sometimes, a lot of times, kind of shocks me sometimes. If people tune in, the later it gets. I be thinking like, you know, I'm moving too late for people sometimes, and then others just don't make it until the morning or the next day, which is fine. Shalom to you too, man. If you couldn't, you know, get that nap in, you couldn't stay up with me tonight. It's all good, man. Ashkarab, you're all in now. Hey, shalom to my brother, right? But let's get to it, man. Let's get right to it. Y'all all been in the news. I know all of y'all been watching. I'm not, you know, telling you nothing you haven't seen, witnessed. Maybe you haven't. But for those who aren't aware, who haven't been really paying attention, we're gonna put more pieces of the puzzle together, man. As we inch closer and closer to these end times, entering closer and closer towards Jacob's trouble, towards our deliverance, towards the downfall of our enemies, before judgment of the nations, you know, before the sealing of the hopeful elect, we're inching closer and closer, right? All praise to the Most High. So let's see here. I think I can just do it just like that. Yeah, there you go. All right, so let me get this thing up. I want to start off with this. Your man gets the bump in his gums, man. The ultimate troll, Agent Orange, at it again with his Twitter fingers. Now, look at how proud and boastful this man is, man. And it all goes to the credit to the Most High, because the proud and the boastful, the man of much tongue, is the one who's going to be slain just by his own words. Look what he wrote as of recent. We are totally destroying the terrorist regime of Iran. Now it's a terrorist regime. You know, that's the code word. That's the dog whistle, so that the Democrats and everybody else can acknowledge and say, well, this is a legitimate war. He's fighting terror. Same way I guess that George W. Bush was doing, right? Baby Bush said he was fighting terror. If you're not with us, you're with the terrorists. There's weapons of mass destruction going on over there. We need to go get them before they get us. Remember all that same rigmarole they was pushing, 27 years ago? Yeah. So here he goes. We're totally destroying the terrorist regime of Iran, militarily, economically, and otherwise. Yet, if you read the failing New York Times, this is so wild, because there's a battle royale of lies, mockingbird behavior going on amongst the media. He likes to target anybody that doesn't fall in line with the ministry of truth that he has going on right now. Fox and all the rest of them, you know, they're going to go along with the talking points. They're going to go ahead along. You know, that's why Larry Ellison and his son bought out Warner. You know, remember what I showed y'all a couple of weeks ago? The conglomerate of corporations that own all of the networks. And Larry Ellison just bought Warner and all of the conglomerate media outlets that go along with that. And Agent Orange even told him, he said, man, CNN, all them, I want them to speak favorably of me from here on out. So now he's talking about the New York Times doesn't speak the truth. But we're going to see who's speaking the truth and who's not as time goes on. We'll see. You would incorrectly think that we are not winning. Iran's Navy is gone. Okay, their Air Force is no longer. That missiles, drones, and everything else are being decimated. Okay, so if you believe all this, then I guess all of the alternative media and the foreign news media outlets that are reporting from ground zero, and you seeing it, we've seen the videos of the GMO small hats running for their lives over there because the Iron Dome was failing. We keep hearing about Tel Aviv getting hit. Even over in Dimona, I heard they got hit. I don't think it, affected any of the Israelites that's over there, the brothers and sisters that's, living over there. But I heard that a Dimona got hit, because there's I believe there's a nuclear power site in that vicinity, and Iran was trying to get to that. But you leave it to him, man. I mean, they've got nothing left. They've got sticks and stones right now. They're just throwing them at the tanks, throwing them at the drones in the air, and the swinging sticks at the warships out there. Come on, man. He says they're all decimated and the leaders have been wiped from the face of the earth. Meanwhile, Ayatollah Khomeini, his son, just took over. I thought they were decimated. Okay, I guess that's not the truth. And the leaders have been wiped from the face of the earth. We have unparalleled firepower. Now, listen to this: unparalleled firepower, unlimited ammunition, and plenty of time. So remember when he said this is going to be a short war? He was even pumping it up like earlier this week, or it could have been the end of last week, saying, we're pretty much done. We've done everything that we needed to do. The war is over. I know some of y'all heard that. If y'all heard him say that, throw a 6 in the chat, because if we get 3 6s, you know it's the devil. You know he's lying. Let me know. Throw a 6 in the chat if you heard Agent Orange say that the war is pretty much over. We've done everything that needed to be done. You know, and it's time to go ahead on and crack a brew, man. It's over with. Okay, 3 6s in the house. Okay, up there you go. Straight from the pit of hell, man. Lies from the pit of hell. Fork tongue waggling, the rattle of the damn rattlesnake louder than ever. Okay, so he said it's over with. But now he's talking about they've got plenty of time and unlimited ammunition and unparalleled firepower, which is letting you know that they intend on this being a longer war than they expected. They've been killing innocent people all over the world for 47 years. Huh? If that's not the pot calling the kettle black, he's talking about they've been killing innocent people all over the world for 47 years. America's been doing it for over 500 years. And some, if we're including the Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom, sometimes we get in love with just the 400 years and, considering the transatlantic slave trade and all that. But let's not forget, the Northern Kingdom was over here, and in 1492, they suffered at the hands of the Spaniards, the French, the Portuguese, the Dutch, right? So let's add another 100 years to that. Add some more time. So let's not play games. He's talking about 47 years. They've been killing innocent people. Hold on. The scriptures tell us that this cat, man, Revelation 17, and we've talked about this before, but reading verse 6. Now we'll read verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. So we know this is talking about America. I've covered Revelation 17 as a lesson before. If you haven't seen it, go back, double back. It's in the archives. You'll see it on our YouTube channel. Mystery, Babylon the Great. Why is this place a mystery? Because it's filled with confusion, let alone it's got so much power and deception that it makes you believe that this place is the land of milk and honey. This is the place where everybody wants to be at. This is the place, it's the freedom fighters of the world leaders of democracy. They're the ones who always looking out for the little guy. But that's a complete lie, because now when it's decided to say, and it's understood that no, this place is under Satan's authority, it's filled of abominations, wickedness, unrighteousness, witchcraft, idolatry, you name it, and it's going to be destroyed. People are saying, well, how is that going to happen? I don't understand. No, it's got to be talking about parting within that is the mystery of understanding and unlocking how this place is Babylon the Great reborn, the daughter of Babylon, right? The mother of harlots, man. There's no worse hole than America. And abominations of the earth. It's filled with every manner of abomination that you can imagine. And what else? Verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. I mean, you can't get enough. Imagine this. A cat that is an extreme alcoholic does not know his limits. And he's constantly drinking. And you're saying, bro, you had enough, man. No, I'm all right. Get out of my face. I'm fine. I can do it. Give me another shot. And you saying, damn, you're already drunk. No, give me more. Give me more. There's an unsatiable appetite for the blood of the saints. Well, we know who the saints are, the children of Israel. Psalms 148 and 14, Psalms 50 and 5 lets us know who the saints are. This woman has became drunken with the blood of the saints. That's how much destruction, that's how much innocent lives they've committed to. He's talking about for 47 years. Read one book, Devastation of the Indies by Bartolome de las Casas, and you'll hear about all the destruction and the mayhem and the murder that they've done just on the island of Hispaniola alone. We're talking about the island of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. The island of Hispaniola, you're talking about them having competitions of who can cut a man in half, severing a pregnant woman's belly open and stomping on the fetus, severing, quartering men with horses, killing the baby. I mean, you name it. That's just one incident. And he's talking about Iran has been slaughtering innocent people for 47 years. If that's not calling the pot, the kettle black, and hypocrisy at its highest esteem, I don't know what is. The blood of the saints, man. We're not even talking about the transatlantic slave trade alone. There's a book called, I believe it's, and I got it too, Before the Mayflower. And it talks about how sharks would follow the Nina, the Santa Maria, the Pinta, following these particular slave ships because of the dead bodies being thrown overboard. Talking about how they knew that they were going to follow in the blood trails and whatnot. That's just on the way over here, let alone docking in Brazil, docking in the Caribbean, docking on the east coast of America, being lynched, hung, burned, tarred, feathered, scalped. I mean, all of every manner of vicious destruction of our people, they've done it, man. Cutting men's rods off, man, stuffing them in their mouths, burning men while they're still living. And he's talking about innocent lives, man. This place has been drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of martyrs, blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai. Yeah, because this is the same blood that the Romans had with the disciples. They're being held accountable just as well as those that's here in America. America is going to carry on with the blood that their predecessor, who they patterned themselves after, Rome. How do we know that? Look, in other words, America is going to be accessible and going to be accountable also for the blood of the martyring of the saints, because they're going to martyr some of us. That's part of the scriptures, right? Unfortunately, some of us are going to be martyred for the truth at the hands of a modern day Babylon. But at the same time, this place also is going to be held accountable for the sins of their father. Yeah, Rome, as they went ahead and killed and martyred righteous men of the Lord, they'll be back, through regeneration. If you can receive that understanding, look at this. Revelation 1:7. Behold, he cometh for clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. So that means the ones who pierced Yahweh Shai, they're still here. Those are the same ones who crucified and created martyrs of the apostles and created martyrs of, the righteous men of the scriptures. They still around. So this mother harlot also is possessing these same spirits, man. They've got a lot of hell to pay for. And they which also pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. Every eye is going to see him, even they which pierced him. So there's going to be generational blood on their hands. Let me read verse 6 again. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So this guy is running around talking about how Iran is out here killing innocent people and all that, not recognizing that this place, as they're getting ready to celebrate the 250-year anniversary or the 250-year birth date of America on July 4th, this summer, he's rolling out the red carpet, man. He done spent multi-millions of dollars on this whole little parade and everything else he's getting ready to do for this foolishness, right? Now that's going to be, you add up all them years. And that's all blood on the hands. That's all part of the case that the Most High has built. The ultimate spiritual Fed case on America and Esau and the nations is getting built up, right? They've been killing innocent people all over the world for 47 years. And now I, as the 47th president of the United States of America, am killing them. See the proud speech, man? He says he's doing it. Like he's out there frontlining with the AR in his hand, you know, vested up in the fatigues, in the boots. Like he's got the, you know, the helmet on. He's flying the drone. He's acting like he says he's out there literally killing them, proud and boastful, glorying in the blood and the death of people. He says he's killing them, right? I guess he's got to take credit for the girls' schools. I guess he can take credit for, you know, the residential areas that innocent people have been destroyed to. But we're going to see. What a great honor it is to do so. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump, right? So look, this is the scriptures, right? Hell and destruction are before Yahweh. How much more than the hearts of the children of men? So if the Most High says that hell and destruction is before him, the Most High brings those things. Amos 3 and 7 says, so evil be done in the city and the Lord hasn't done it. Everything is in the hands of the Most High. So when he says hell and destruction are before Yahweh, the Most High is going to bring the destruction. The Most High is going to bring the death and the torment to all those who oppose him, right? But notice this, it says, how much more than the hearts of the children of men? So he says, if he's in control of hell and destruction, how much more is he controlling the minds of the children of men? So Trump is out here boastfully, you know, and proudly going out there speaking from his quote unquote heart, but it's really the Most High making him say these things because it's only going to condemn him even further. It's only going to bring more hell and destruction to him and his cohorts and this place, right? Continuing on, it says how Trump and his advisors miscalculated Iran's response to war. Yeah, because he's not in control. He's miscalculating because he's thinking and saying things that he believes is true. Meanwhile, the Most High is setting him up. He's running around here boasting, saying we've got the best army, guns, which might be true. But as we're going to continue on, man, some of these things is outdated. Some of them is junk. And when it all comes down to it, man, you can't beat somebody who's fighting for their culture, their religion, fighting with all their heart and with their might. Like, you know, we talked about it, man. These people are religious zealots. They feel like they've got more to fight for or more to lose than the average American soldier. So when you're fighting with that type of purpose, they're going to fight tooth and nail all the way to the end. Ask the Vietnamese, ask the Afghans. Like that, they're going to go all the way to the end. It doesn't matter to them. So it says, in the lead up to the U.S. Israeli attack, President Trump downplayed the risk to the energy markets as a short-term concern that should not be overshadowed the mission to decapitate the Iranian regime. So, you know, this is what he's saying. He thought this was going to be a quick little 1-2 jab. They was going to buckle. They was going to bow down, kiss the ring, and that was going to be it. Clearly, he didn't read and doesn't know and understand the history of the Iranians and their associations and their allies that are propping them up and making sure that they still have everything that they need to continue on. The economic desperation that this is caused right now is wild. I mean, we're only in, 14 days now? 2 weeks. So we surpassed the 12-day war. We're at 14. And the economic ramifications is already kicking in heavy, right? So the extent of that miscalculation was laid bare in recent days as Iran threatened to fire at commercial oil tankers transitioning the Strait of Hormuz, the strategic choke point through which all ships must pass on their way out of the Persian Gulf. In response to the Iranian threats, commercial shipping has come to a standstill in the Gulf. Oil prices have spiked, and the Trump administration has scrambled to find ways to tamp down on economic crisis that has triggered higher gasoline prices for Americans. Which is wild to me because America is the number one has the number one oil refineries in the world, man. America is sitting on a gold mine of oil. They could easily hit them reserves, man. Throw it back over here. If it's about America first and the people and making America affordable again, clearly he's not doing that. They could tap them reserves, man, get the oil prices down and not trip. But they ain't doing that. Right? Oil companies are still sitting back, gouging everybody. We'll see as we continue on. I know all of y'all see it. Look, honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of a man is his fault. That's why the Most High is allowing him to go out there and talk about, I am over there killing them now. He ain't doing a goddamn thing. But bumping his gums and talking through that hole in his mouth, hole in his face, it calls a mouth, the two little slits that he calls lips, and a wagging tongue. But this is how we know. Let him keep bragging. Let him continually be boastful. Let him be, arrogant in his speech, because it's only going to lead to shame in his talk. Because now, and his fall. Because what's it doing is also showing that he's been caught in so many lies. It's not even funny. Verse Sirach 20:18. To slip upon pavement is better than to slip with the tongue. The Most High said, man, rather than you slipping your tongue, you say something out of line, out of order, a lie, or whatever the case may be. The Most High said it's better for you to slip and bust your head on the pavement than to be slipping with your tongue. And that dude is loose with the lips, for real. And Pete, Hegseth, Dragon Breath, all of them is loose with the lips. And the Most High was like, it would be better for you to just slip, bust your head, and get a concussion than to keep carrying on with what you're doing. But it's okay. Let him keep doing it. And we're going to see how the Most High deals with the judgment. So it says, so the fall of the wicked shall come speedily. So this is what the Most High prophesied, that the fall of the wicked is going to come speedily. That's why when Yahushua even said that the time, let's get that in Matthew 24. Time is going to be cut short for the elect's sake. Most High says speedily it's going to happen. So yes, no man knows the time. No man knows the time, right? But let's read verse 12, 13, and we're going to drop down. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So we're seeing that spirit transitioning out here into the earth. More and more, you're seeing more sin, more unrighteousness, more evil, more people turning their back on the Most High, more unbelievers of the Bible, more people condemning those who believe in the word. Heinous crimes is up. Murder, rape, you name it, it's all up right now. The love of many waxing cold, but he that endureth until the end, the same shall be saved, right? So that's what it is. The Most High said, man, we've got to endure until the end. Now, continuing on, verse 22, it says, and except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. So when the Lord said that the days be short, mean time is going to move even faster. Everybody can attest now. I mean, we're already in March, damn near mid-March. Passover is going to be here in a little more than 2 weeks. 2 weeks and let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 2 weeks and 5 days will be a Passover already, 2026. And who knows? I'm not one to say this is going to be the last one, but you never know. You never know. Whether it's based upon prophecy and world events, or it's just based upon the Most High saying, this is your last or my last or whatever, you never know. One thing we always used to, we always hold true to is that each year, especially if you're in a body or a congregation or a church or what have you, you pay attention to everyone that's around you. There's always going to be somebody that's not going to be there the next year. Somebody's not going to be there. Guaranteed. This is facts. Been in the truth over 30 years, and that is not failed once. That's why we have to take everyone, all of these feast days, not just, but because of Abib being the beginning of the year, outside of the new moon, this being the high holy day that mark all the rest of the days going forward, The Passover is always sets the tone, right? And every year, you can look around, you can say, man, such and such ain't here again. It ain't there no more. For whatever reason it could be. And on the flip side, there's always some new sheep too. Some new seeds that that pop up in the springtime in the bib, right? And that's how it is. But we don't know. And that's the dangerous part. That's the fearful part. And except those days should be shortened. There should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So we're dealing with time frames. That's why even 2nd Ezra 9 says measure the time, right? Time is relevant. So when we go back over here to Sirach 20 and 18, and it says, so shall the wicked, so the fall of the wicked shall come speedily. That means that things gonna be moving pretty fast, especially the way that he's talking, with shame in his talk and the tongue of a man being his fault, and we're seeing what's going on with the engagement with war and whatnot. And now the other nations are starting, align themselves and get prepared. It's moving at breakneck speed. Shalaki, 1 second. All right, Shalaki, y'all. I'm trying to see. Now my camera's back on. I mean, I'm not frozen no more. All right, no problem. Whatever. Maybe I'll just go down like this. All right. So getting back over here. Shalaki. All right. So shall the fall of the wicked come speedily, right? Let's continue. Now look at this. This is him speaking again. Trump says Iran war will end very soon, predicts lower oil prices. So far, he's a false prophet. So far, he done lied about how soon it's going to end. This is what I talked about for those who didn't see it. This is just last week. He was like, yeah, it's going to end pretty soon, Don't worry. Lower prices, oil's coming down. Everything's going to be great. Look, Trump claims Iran war is pretty much complete. But what? Hegseth, his Secretary of War, of the Department of War, he says it's only the beginning. So there's contradictions going on between the two of them. They're divided. So even when we see that, and the scriptures say that a house divided against itself can't stand, they're constantly speaking double speak. Trump saying it's pretty much complete. Hegseth is like, nah, we're just starting, sir. What are you talking? Don't go out there saying that. Oh, President Trump at a press conference at his golf club near Miami. He just got to making a post talking about how much he's killing the Iranians and doing all this other stuff. Meanwhile, tweeting from his golf club. I mean, what is going on? This is how the elite work. This is how the wicked work, man. They sit up in there in the high rises. That's why when the Most High said that he sits up, Obadiah, perched up like a little, perched up like the eagle. Let's read that in Obadiah. Perched on up. Wow, okay. I guess they want me to put chapter 1. I'm going to just read verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? So he can sit at the golf clubs of Mar-a-Lago. He can sit up in the high rises of Trump Towers. He can sit up, and at the third floor of the White House and all that other stuff and talk all this high power stuff. But meanwhile, he ain't gonna lift his finger to do nothing but call somebody or press the panic button, press the code for the nukes. You ain't gonna do nothing but utilize that finger to, the biometric scanners to get him into that bunker. You ain't gonna do nothing else. But that's why the Lord said, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. So as he's sitting back talking from his golf club near Miami, the war against Iran will end very soon, but not this week. So he's trying to put time frames on it. He also predicted that oil prices, which have surged to above $100 a barrel due to fears that the Strait of Hormuz will remain effectively closed, will drop. Trump spoke earlier in the day to Russian leader Vladimir Putin about the war, which the U.S. and Israel began on February 28th. Now, notice this publication said that the U.S. and Israel began the war on February 28th, but Pete Hegseth said 2 weeks ago they didn't start the war. There's another lie. But I digress. Let's continue. Deliver my soul, O Yahweh, from lying lips and from a deceitful tongue. That's what David said, man. All praise to the Most High that we've been given a spirit of discernment, man, that we've been woke and awakened to the folly, to the madness, to the lies, that we're not caught up in the foolishness that goes on within the realms of the world. You know, a lot of our people are still running around here politicking, man. I see these jakes constantly are sitting out in front of Home Depot, in front of grocery stores, etc., trying to get you to sign up for some damn petition. And are you sure you're a registered voter? Can you come over here and sign my petition for this? And there ain't nothing but jakes. It's all Israel. Trying to make ends meet, that they, you know damn well they ain't even voting for these little city legislatures and petitions, but it's a paycheck. How do I know? Because I know a sister that used to do that. It's a little part-time gig that they was paying like commissions for the sign-ups. And she was in the truth. She didn't give a damn about the petitions and all that. She was just like, and she asked me, she's like, Elder, is it against the law for me to sign these, get out there and get people to sign these positions? I really need a job. I need it. And she did it for like a hot second and ended up quitting, I believe. But them people don't even give a damn about no damn petitions. And some of them may truly believe that this petition is actually going to help and save and do something for them. I don't even ask them what's the petition for. I'm like, no, not a registered voter. No, matter of fact, you should be voting for Christ. That's what my vote is. How about you? Well, yeah, I'm right on, brother. I believe so too. But you know, we got to do something. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna let you sit with that. Have a good day. I'm out. There's so many of our people, man, who live for the lie. They love it. Isaiah 30 tells us that our people love to be lied to. They want to be told. They ask the prophet, they say, prophesy deceits to us. Tell us smooth things. Aren't you happy and glad, man, that you don't have to go along to get along no more, man, that you can actually take a stand and say, no, I know the truth now. No, I'm not going with the sheep anymore. Movement. I mean, I'm talking about the sheeple, though. You're a sheep by nature. We're sheep by nature. You know, we're the lost sheep according to the scriptures, right? So I'm talking about the sheep who are following after, you know, the Judas goats and the black goats running out there leading the people astray. Y'all heard about the Judas goats before, right? If you haven't, let's look real quick. I'm talking about the Judas goats out there. Let's look at the concept of the Judas goat. What is this? Damn, AI was going crazy. Like, I got it. I might as well answer it. Go ahead. I'll give them a little sign. A Judas goat is a trained goat that leads sheep or cattle to a specific destination, often what? Slaughter. While its own life is spared. The term originates from the biblical figure Judas Iscariot, symbolizing betrayal. See, aren't you happy now, man? You don't have to get led astray by a Judas goat, man. You don't have to worry about following after these false political leaders. You don't have to worry about getting caught up with these particular influencers that's online. You know, the life coaches and the ones who's out here trying to regulate your relationship, or the ones trying to tell you about, you know, how deep they are with things that they've discovered on the internet. I was telling brothers earlier, man, I'm noticing there's a lot of recycled videos and recycled information that's, being put back out through, influencers on TikTok and Instagram. And I'm like, this stuff is years old, but it's coming out. They acting like this is something new. And people are sitting there, did you see this? I'm like, yeah, I saw that like 20 years ago. Yeah, I saw that 15 years ago. I guess before the internet was, doing what it's doing. But it's part of mental condition. It's part of people out here. Number one, people just trying to go viral and trying to make a name for themselves and not realizing that they're recycling information. But at the same time, it's part of this concept of the Judascope, where you see a trained goat that leads sheep or cattle to a specific destination, often is slaughter, and their own life being spared. So there are individuals out there who are leading people astray on purpose, leading them to destruction, and then they slide out the back door with a little change in the pocket, and their own life is spared. But ultimately, dealing with Esau, man, ain't nobody gonna be spared with him. Remember with Nicanor, when he first encountered Judas Maccabeus, they first instant, he backed down against Judas because Judas realized that he was being deceitful. He said he was gonna come out there with peaceable words and all of that, and they came out with the armies, and Judas was like, "Nah, I don't trust this dude." Came back, put the beats on him, and what happened? Nicanor went right to the priest, went to the temple. They said they just finished making a sacrifice for the king, which was an unrighteous sacrifice because the scriptures tell you that the king required swine's flesh to be sacrificed on the altar. He went right to them, and they came out. Did we do good, boss? We made the sacrifice, and how's the thing? How's the temple looking? We got it all decked out with all kind of idolatry and abomination. And Nicanor, man, clowned them and threatened them and said, man, if you don't deliver Judas in my hands, man, I'm gonna put you to death and I'm gonna destroy everything. There's no negotiating with them, man. You can't sit back and act like, oh, I'll sell them out, but not as long as my own life is spared. It doesn't work that way. Your life is gonna get destroyed too. So all praise to the Most High that we don't get caught in the web of the deceitful tongues. For the most part, if we got a discerning eye, if we're moving in the spirit, if we're aligning things up with the Holy Scriptures, man, then we're not going to fall for a lot of the politics and things that's going on out there, man. The Mockingbird media things that go on out there. You don't get deceived. All right. U.S. intel warns Iran regime is not in danger of collapse even after top leaders wiped out in strikes. So you heard Agent Orange running out there saying, you've seen it in this tweet. Everything's destroyed. All the leaders are destroyed. They're pretty much begging. It's over with. Now they've got U.S. intel. Their own intelligence is saying that they're not in danger of collapse. Them people finna fight to the death until there's no one left. What are you talking about? Don't run out there and say that it's over with. Their own intelligence agencies have been telling Trump, man, slow down. He's like, shut up. I'm the president. I'm saying what I feel, what I think, and that's it. See, that's what the MAGA hats used to like. They thought he was rebellious. He could, say and do what he wants. He was anti-establishment. Meanwhile, he is the establishment. U.S. intelligence agencies believe Iran's government remains firmly in control despite nearly 2 weeks of sustained military strikes that killed senior leaders and commanders, according to officials. Sources familiar with the reports told Reuters on Thursday that the clerical regime remains cohesive and in authority across the country, even after the killing of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in the opening hours of the conflict on February 28th. So they're not going anywhere. Despite what he's running around here lying, saying, despite saying it'll be over very quickly, despite him saying we wiped out everything, the intelligence agencies, which includes insiders like the CIA, Mossad, and all of them, is sharing information. They're saying they're holding it together pretty solid. Right? Yeah, they took some blows, man, but they throwing some shots back. Yet the leadership is still going strong. Don't get it twisted. Oh, look at it. Russia says Iran strikes are just the beginning in the ominous warning to NATO nation. Oh, so we all know Why is Russia coming in speaking on behalf of Persia? Oops, I gave it away. Why are they speaking on behalf of Iran? Is because of them being in alignment via Persia in Ezekiel 38. It was only a matter of time before Russia jumped in. Remember last week, Putin and them said, man, hey, look, you untied my hands. You untied our hands now. Now we've got every reason to be involved. Moscow is directly linked Iran missile strikes on British troops in the Middle East to Ukraine's use of UK supplied Storm Shadow missiles. So who is already down there? The UK. British troops. So add it up. Britain being a NATO nation, they're already under attack. They hit Cyprus, a week ago. So it's almost like a foregone conclusion if you're talking about World War III. And I've seen that same cat. I don't know who he is, man, on that on Facebook talking about you black Israelites don't know nothing, and the Iran's apologized and the war is over with. Told you it wasn't World War III, and I just covered that like the day before that I saw that post, and I was like, what is he doing? I'm assuming it's a bot. He can't be in the truth. There's no way, because he was boastful. Told you it wasn't World War III. You black Israelites don't understand prophecy. This ain't it. And then played a video of some Edomite commentating, talking about how the president of Iran apologized and was backing down, which was nothing further from the truth. We talked about that last week. He apologized to his neighbors, his fellow Islamists, but it was still lit with Israel and with the U.S. As we can see, the war is still going on. This was last weekend. He said this. Man, the dude needs to come back and repent and be like, damn, I'm sorry. I'm out here being a Judas goat, lying and telling y'all one thing, not realizing that he don't understand prophecy. He's definitely not on top of his current events, but whatever. It's just amazing to me. How cats have this particular mind frame, attitude, or spirit that not really locking in on the prophecies. And one reason is too, you know what? Just in the spirit. It's in Sirach. Where we at? Sirach 39:1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof. So there's got to be two things. Your mind's got to be locked in on the law of the Most High and occupied in the meditation. So it has to be a job to be in the meditation of the law. It has to be part of your functionality in your life, where it's like, okay, you know what? This is my work. This is work. And it is work sometimes to keep the laws. But the Most High said, don't call them grievous. I mean, it's not a burden, but it does take work to try to stay in alignment with the laws of the Most High, especially when you're surrounded by nothing but evil and wickedness. When the world is operating on wickedness and you're trying to walk right, you got everything pulling you in the left direction, but you're trying to stay right. So that's the work, but that's the occupying. To be surrounded by, to be fulfilled with, to be working toward meditating on the law, making sure that's part of your mind frame. And if you're doing those things, what's going to happen? You will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecy. So one way that we know if an individual is really understanding prophecy is if he's keeping the laws or not, if she's keeping the laws or not. If you ain't doing those things, you're not going to understand the prophecies correctly. That's just what it is. Thus saith the Lord, right? No, I want Psalm 111. And verse 10. It says, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that what do his commandments, his praise endure forever. This is why you see that the Christian church and others don't have a proper understanding of the scriptures, because why? They don't keep the commandments of the Lord. They won't understand eschatology, they won't understand prophecy, they won't understand the judgments of the Lord, because they're not occupied in the meditation of the commandments, they're not occupied in the keeping of the law. And that equates to a lack of fear of the Most High, which then deletes their wisdom. Continuing on over here, right? So Russia says Iran strikes are just the beginning, right? Moscow has explicitly connected Iranian missile attacks on British forces in the Middle East to Ukraine's deployment of the UK-provided Storm Shadow missiles against the Russian city of Bryansk. The ominous development comes after Defense Secretary John Healey cautioned that Putin's hidden hand is behind some of the Iranian tactics and potentially some of their capabilities as well. Yeah, tell us something we don't know. Ezekiel 38 says he's going to be a guard unto them. So there again, we see another form of prophecy with Gog and Magog being there to protect and be there to be a guard for Iran. So he said that Putin's hidden hand is behind some of the Iranian tactics and potentially some of their capabilities as well. Boom. Exclusive, as many as 150 U.S. troops were wounded so far in Iran war, sources say. Remember, they were saying there was only 4 dead. Nothing's happening to the U.S. troops. Every time something happens, it's not because of conflict, it's because of a technical issue, or it's because of, faulty equipment. And no, some of this word is getting out there now. 150 wounded, not dead, but wounded, right? So, eventually all it takes a little bit of time, man, before the truth really starts coming out. They can only cover up and, redact as much as they can. We know now that this is a tactic that the Trump regime is using as far as redacting and withholding information solely by the Epstein files. We've all seen what's happening with that. His name, they said, is in there 1 million times. Redacted thousands of times, covering up, slowly delaying the process of exposing it and letting it out. I mean, the list goes on and on. So it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out, man. Here we go. Thought I was lying about that headline? Trump deploys, quote, Doomsday nuclear command planes to the Middle East as World War III fears surge. Doomsday nuclear command planes. I mean, what are we talking about here? Yeah, in World War III, you black Israelites don't know what you're talking about. What? Oh boy, got problems. We got problems, right? The U.S. military is terrifying Doomsday planes. Why they even name that? Have taken to the skies as fears of a nuclear war inch closer to reality. Flight tracking data has captured multiple. Hold on, let me read that line again, because for the people in the back, man, the ones that's wearing the helmets on the small bus, ones who don't want to hear the truth, don't want to understand the times that we in. Okay, here we go. The U.S. military's terrifying Doomsday planes have taken to the skies as fears of a nuclear war inch closer to reality. All right. Flight tracking data has captured multiple launches of the Navy's E-6B Mercury Strategic Airborne Command aircraft since the war in Iran began on February 28th. So they're already bringing in the big boys, and we're only 2 weeks in. So we're talking about how the scriptures say that the time being shortened, the destruction of the wicked cometh quickly. They're moving pretty fast as far as the weaponry is concerned. Not to say that they about to just hit the nukes, but they're saying that the reality of that happening is becoming more real by the day. These giant planes, constructed using the frames of the Boeing 707, are built to survive a nuclear war and coordinate America's military response from the air. All right, so they've got the Doomsday planes going on over there because Their specialty is surviving a nuclear war, let alone providing military response from the air. That's the weaponry that America is sending over there right now. Pentagon is moving additional Marines and warships to the Middle East. So if anybody was talking about troops on the ground, that ain't happening. We're not going to do that. Too late. Too late. Pentagon is moving additional Marines and warships to the Middle East. They already talked about what was it? Not the 82nd. The 92nd, 82nd Airborne troops already ceased their training. They're waiting for their next orders. Allegedly, they've already been sent out. I know a brother whose relative got deployed already. So what they're telling us is not what's happening. But now, again, as time goes on, they cannot hold the truth back anymore. Here it goes. The Pentagon is moving additional Marines and warships to the Middle East as Iran steps up its attacks on the Strait of Hormuz. I thought they was done. I thought they had no more missiles, no more drones. They had nothing, right? They're wiped out. All their leaders are crying from the grave. Apparently not. According to 3 U.S. officials, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has approved the request from U.S. Central Command responsible for American forces in the Middle East for an element of an amphibious ready group and attached Marine Expeditionary Unit, typically consisting of several warships and 5,000 Marines and sailors, the official said. The Japan-based USS Tripoli and its attached Marines are now headed for the Middle East. Two of the officials said Marines are already in the Middle East supporting the Iran operation, the official said. Oh, really? No, Marines is already there, huh? Oh, okay. You know, once them boots hit the ground, man, that's the indication that this is going to be a quote-unquote forever war. Iran protesters burn Trump coffins and U.S. flags as they chant "Death to America." I thought they were celebrating after Ayatollah Ali Khamenei got put to death. Remember all them videos? That's all fake. That's all BS, man. Remember they was running around here chanting over there with "Hell Trump, we love Trump," and oh, finally he's dead, and then remember all that? But they wasn't in Iran. They was in the UK and other places. Just like I talked about before, just like the fake crowds that was running around for Maduro. Where are they at now? How come there's still no more partying and for all the Venezuelans over here? So happy. What the party's over with? What happened? I mean, what was it, just for that day? Well, I guess so. If you're doing the 800 crowds is us, or whatever the name of that website is. I forgot the name. Yeah, but now we see the Iranians is over there hot. They like "Death to America," burning up effigies of Baphomet and Trump coffins and all the U.S. flag. They over there turned up. They are not over there bowing down saying, "Thank you, America, for liberating us. Thank you for helping us. We love America." No. That ain't being said at all. Massive crowds at Tehran burn U.S. and Israeli flags during Al-Quds Day demonstration supporting the Palestinian cause. So they're still tripping about Palestine. They tripping about Iran. What we're seeing and what America's telling us, oh, we're liberating them. We're helping them. That's out. Remember when Trump bombed and said, once we're finished, it's up to you to take over. It's yours again. Get it while the getting's good. That was a lie. All right, here we go.
Before we found Skyscanner, searching for travel deals got a little crazy.
I'm comparing travel sites on the phone tree.
All right, welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. As it changes minute by minute, hour by hour, we do want to provide a new update on an incident that happened in the Middle East of a U.S. plane that was downed. This from Central Command. They're clarifying exactly what was happening here today. Is U.S. Central Command aware of the loss of a U.S. KC-135 refueling aircraft? The incident occurred in friendly airspace during Operation Epic Fury. Rescue efforts are ongoing. plane. 2 aircraft were involved in the incident. One of the aircraft went down in western Iraq. The second landed safely. This was not due to hostile fire or friendly fire.
So, you know, they're always quick to say, which it may be true, but at the same time, you know, when America can dictate the narrative, remember the first 4 soldiers that got put to death. Oh, it was friendly fire. You know, nobody's touching us. The planes go down. All 6 people got put to death in this thing. Oh, it wasn't hostile. It was friendly fire. We still don't know what happened. Well, at least I don't know exactly what happened. They said two planes was involved. Did they almost crash like they've been doing over here with the the airports being down and all them incidents that was happening with the air traffic controllers? Is that what happened? Are they still messing those things up? As much as Trump is downplaying Iran, talking about, oh, you know, they don't know how to operate their weapons and they're shooting down their own people, and America's not doing too much better. So they was quick to throw out the disclaimer. Oh, it went down, but it wasn't because of them. It wasn't because of them. All right, let me let this go.
CENTCOM clarifying what's going on there is U.S. plane, military plane going down in Iraq. I want to put up a live picture of Tel Aviv here and give you a little bit more sense of what we're watching here. An American military refueling plane went down there in the Middle East as rescue efforts are now underway. Central Command said the 2 aircrafts were involved. One landed safely, the other was down in western Iraq. The U.S. official telling our Associated Press said the other plane involved was also a KC-135. They'll say more information will be made available.
So they had an incident or accident while trying to refuel a plane, right? 6 of the people got smoked. But again, if America is talking about how incompetent the Iranians are and what they're doing, I can't tell. Because it sounds like there's been more deaths at the hands of friendly fire and mid-air accidents from their own doing than it has been on the Iranian side. I haven't heard nothing about them accidentally bombing themselves or hitting themselves or crashing into. But if you leave it to the narrative, they're incompetent. They don't know what they're doing. You know, Trump's gonna say this later. Let me get to that. Let me see. Look at this. U.S. sailors are injured in a fire aboard aircraft carrier supporting the Iran war. You know, there was some videos of people going online saying that this was because of the Iranians that hit up the USS Ford and caused it to retreat. I try to look, you know, I was looking for information that would sustain, support that. So far, I didn't find anything, right? But what they're saying is that this was a fire that happened on the USS Ford. 2 people got injured, but it's still, the ship is still functional. Everything's great, right? Now look at this. 2 U.S. sailors were treated for non-life-threatening injuries after fire broke out Thursday on board the aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford, a centerpiece of Trump's administration's war against Iran, officials said. The Navy acknowledged the incident in a statement, saying the fire occurred and was contained in the ship's main laundry facility and was not a result of combat. You know, they're always quick to acknowledge that. Sure, things happen. But it seems like there's some more technical issues and more folly jumping off with the equipment of America than there is with the Iranians, which is funny to me. But watch this. The statement said the sailors are in stable condition and did not specify the type of injuries they experienced. There's no damage to the ship's propulsion plant, and the aircraft carrier remains fully operational. The Navy statement said the ship is in the Red Sea. Thursday's fire is a carrier's second major setback while at sea. What was the first one? Did y'all hear about that? Oh, you did? Okay. Let's see. During what has become a high-intensity extended deployment, the Ford also has experienced repeated plumbing issues. Yeah. So they've been stuck on this boat since damn near June. And did y'all see that? Well, some of y'all may have seen it, or at least you heard about the poop cruise. Remember that I forgot what the destination was, where it originated from. But that Carnival Cruise Line, where the whole sewer system got jacked up and people were stranded out there, and they had no toilets, and people was pooping all in the all in the on the ship, vomiting all over the place. I mean, it was wild. Netflix, I believe, did a whole little special on it. They've got the same thing going on this USS Ford. Look at it. The damn laundry room catching on fire, toilets ain't flushing, and they're talking about they've got the standard, the highest quality of weaponry and technology, and old ass damn boats going out there, man. Anyway, look, in February, the Navy acknowledged in a statement that the ship's vacuum collection, holding, and transfer system, vacuum collection, what is that? Holding and transfer system, which supports approximately 650 toilets on board, was experiencing maintenance issues that would be addressed once it returns home to Norfolk. But right now, they're stuck out there in war. How long before they get to Virginia? With backed up toilet, a bad toilet issue, and all of that plumbing. Man, have you seen some of the pictures, man? They look like worse than porta potties. And this is the second thing that they're gonna have with this damn ship. But I digress. Hold on, that ain't looking right. Let's darken that up. Let's get that right. How about that? Okay. Now it says what? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So yeah, we're seeing them getting embarrassed by their own incompetency with their own technologies, man. From the ships to the planes to the quote unquote friendly fires. The Most High is glorious, man. He said they're gonna be taken with their own devices. Why? Because you got their head, the head of the snake out there woofing and prideful and boastful and talking big stuff. Meanwhile, there's an embarrassment going on behalf of the American troops and their equipment. Now look at this. Kremlin says it seems the end of the world is upon us because we have never lived through something worse. Oh, so Russia is speaking about end times. They're saying they've never lived through anything worse. Well, guess what? The Most High said that already. Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Who's this? Thy people shall be delivered. I don't know where the Gentiles fits into that. I don't know where the heathen fit into that. But so this is a whole nother thing. But at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Okay? And that's what it is. But remember, the Russian official said, this has got to be the end time. We ain't never lived through nothing like this before. That's coming from the mouth of the scriptures. The Kremlin, The Kremlin has warned that the end of the world is upon us. Vladimir Putin's spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, hit out at a breakdown in international law. The doom-laden warning for the planet came amid massive U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran, which the Kremlin labeled a perfect storm. Now, I don't need to add on to that. I don't need to add any extras to it. It is what it is. When the nations are out here acknowledging, man, that this is the end times, the end of the world, so forth and so on, right? It only coincides with what the scriptures say, man. Either you see it or you don't. Either you move in more fear and more prayer and more vigilance, or you don't. Russia appears helpless to assist Tehran, except possibly in providing intelligence on American and Israeli military positions. Putin's mouthpiece said there have been worse things in human history, but we weren't alive then. So it seems to us that the end of the world is upon us. That's coming from the Russia in his own mouthpiece saying this is what it seems like to them. Like, this is it. This is Armageddon. This is the Valley of Jehoshaphat. This is final judgment. This is the end of the world. This is the end of the age. This is World War III. This is what they're saying. Now, if the world powers and global leaders are on it like that, man, where is your mind at? Come on. And I get it too, man. The scriptures say, man, woe to you that desire the day of the Lord. For what ends it going to be for you? None of us are assured anything. But we have to still move in the spirit. We still have to move in the vigilance, and we still have to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High for His word being true and for His promises of deliverance for our people. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Nobody said it's going to be, be peaches and cream, and we're just going to get it through a flip of the switch, or some pre-tribulation rapture. That the chariot's going to come and scoop you up, and you're going to miss the whole show, or watch it from the heavens and the firmament and looking down, and when everything's cleaned up and the streets are paved with gold, you get placed back down there and everything's great. No, that ain't what the scripture says is going to happen. So let's continue. Now look at this. Here's another lie.
Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hickson? It was Iran who did it?
I mean, these guys can't tell the truth to save their life. Remember when inflation was going down, gas prices was up, everything was all bad in America under Slow Biden, and they asked Slow Biden, they said, President Biden, gas is up, inflation, blah, blah, blah. And Slow Biden turned around and said, it's not my fault. Putin's to blame. It's Putin's fault. And got on the plane. They have no problem not taking accountability and just saying, he just said, no, in my opinion, it was Iran. Iran did that. Iran bombed their own schools. What? Since he said this, all kind of information, documents in America, intel has already came out and said, no, it was us. It was us. Yeah, we did that. But it was already understood from the beginning. But he knew that. But he said, hey, man, I've been lying all this time. I might as well keep going.
Elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hickson? It was Iran who did that? We're certainly investigating. Still investigating.
Yep. Now, look at Trump. Look at closing his eye. God, this nigga. I just said what I said, man. He's supposed to get my back. Now, he just said, we're investigating. So it wasn't clear cut yet. Iran did it. But Hexef is going to try to clean it up and say, well, only people that's bombing innocent people is Iran. You can be sure of that.
The only side that targets civilians is Iran.
We think it was done by Iran. Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever.
Hold it. But didn't 4 Americans get put to death through friendly fire? Oh, okay.
It was done by Iran.
It was done by Iran. That's
Did the United...
Okay. Video shows U.S. Tomahawk missile strike next to the girls' school in Iran. And then America came out and lied and said, oh, it was us, but we were operating off of old intel. The old intel said that there was an Iranian base there, and we assumed that it was still there, and it wound up being a girls' school. Remember when Slow Biden and them bombed and put to death like 20-something Afghanistan men, women, and children with quote-unquote bad intel? And they just came out and apologized. It was like, oops, sorry about that. But didn't want to come clean with it before. They're constantly doing that, and then they double back and act like it was an accident. What was it? Afghanistan? Was it the wedding? Well, here's one. That was under Obama. Look at this, killing 47 civilians and the bride. But there was one where Slow Biden did it. And they gave him some money. Here you go. The Biden administration admits to killing 10 civilians in the Kabul airstrike. No ISIS. You see, oh, look at this. U.S. Embassy in Baghdad hit in a missile attack. This is breaking news. All praise to the Most High. But Trump said everything is, they ain't got nothing going on. I think this is new. This is current. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Unless this is just part of this particular page in 2021. It's possible, though. Don't mind that. But there they go. America's got a history of slaughtering the innocents, right? But let's let Agent Orange continually put his foot in his mouth.
There's a footage that shows that an American missile strike and a Tomahawk missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility for that strike?
And I will say that
did you hear what he said? I haven't seen it. Hold on.
Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
Based on what I've seen.
Huh? What? Hold on. He just said, in my opinion, based on what I've seen.
There's a footage that shows that an American missile strike and a Tomahawk missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility for that strike?
And I will say that
I haven't seen it. Which one is it? Yeah, but we're wrong when we call him the devil. We're wrong when we say that this is the mouth of deceit. This is the mouth of a serpent. This is the mouth of the dragon. We're wrong when we call him out and call it like we see it, right? Or we're a hate group. We're extremists. Huh? From what I've seen, yeah, Iran's responsible. It was a U.S. Tomahawk. I haven't seen it. Huh? Okay.
There's a footage that shows that an American missile strike and a Tomahawk missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility for that strike?
And I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by.
Sold? Did you catch that? Tomahawk missiles are sold. Used by. Yeah, you done messed up. Who's selling the Tomahawks? Who makes the Tomahawks? The U.S. Raytheon. Yeah, Raytheon makes the U.S. making these Tomahawks, and they're selling it to the nations. They're using it themselves. How did they? If Iran did it, how did they get a hold of them? And he readily gonna sit up there and say they've got them. So they got them from you? Fork-tongued creatures, man, I tell you.
Other countries, you know that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, they wish they had more. But
they wish they had more. How'd they get those initially? If those are manufactured and come from America, how'd they get their hands on them? Okay.
Whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a tomahawk is very generic. It's sold to other countries, but that's being investigated right now.
Oh, now it's being investigated. It's a generic weapon, right? Anyway.
There's a
the old boss, same as the new boss, same as the old boss, huh? What to know about Ayatollah Mutaba Khomeini. Let's run it down a little bit. And already when he came out, they made him the new Ayatollah, the new cleric leader of Iran. Trump said he's not happy with the decision. But you see the headline. He's worse than his father. So if they're saying how bad his pops was, how much of a dictator he was, how much of a warmongering religious zealot, if he's worse than his pops, do you think Iran's going to roll over? You think he's just going to come in and negotiate and say, you know what, I'm not like my father. I want out the war. I want to make peace. I love democracy. Hell, Satan. What? They not going to do that. Mujtaba Khomeini, 56, was named Iran's third supreme leader on March 8, 2026, 10 days after the U.S. Israeli strikes killed his father. So imagine you killed his pops. You think he's just going to go ahead and lie down? You don't think he wants some get back? That was that scripture. The scripture say, man, that if a man has a son, man, he leave one behind like unto himself. And that's the fear of the enemy, because they fear that his seed is going to take vengeance on him. That's in the Apocrypha. I can't remember. I got to think about that one off the top of my head. So that's one of the griefs of the enemy, is that he comes back. The vengeance. Yeah, you know what? Let's read that. I'm quoting it, but let's go there real quick. It's in Sirach 30. You see this? Sirach 30, we're going to read 3 down. It says, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. So you don't think that he came up, now he's a religious cleric, he's a new Ayatollah. He was raised a Muslim just like his pops. He's worse than his pops, right? But it says he grieves his enemy. That's why Trump was like, I'm not happy with the decision. I was hoping we could add a regime change, man, and we could have put somebody in there of our own. We could have put our own little Judas goat up in there. That didn't happen. Verse 4, though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he had left one behind him that is like himself. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. See that? This is America's worst nightmare, because now he's coming in worse than his pops, got a reason for vengeance, and America's already running out there talking about, yeah, he's in a coma and he's in hiding. Well, I guess because he hasn't made any public viewings of himself. He's made his first statement, a written statement, but they're saying he's in a coma, and might have had his legs cut off or something like that through some bombings. They ain't got no proof of none of this, but this is what they're saying regarding him, right? So they said this: the Assembly of Experts announced his election in a decisive vote, though the process was marked by significant IRGC pressure and internal dissent among clerical members. Mujtaba holds only the mid-level clerical rank of Hojatul Islam, not Ayatollah. Legitimacy issues his father resolved by having the law change a similar workaround. Trump openly called this election unacceptable. Of course, America's always got the last word, man. We don't like that. He warned that Mujtaba would not last long without U.S. approval. So who runs everything? America. Let's not forget about it. They got to give their approval for every damn thing, and characterize him as a quote lightweight. What else? Let's look down here. It says analysts expect Mujtaba to be more hardline than his father, more reliant on the IRGC, and unlikely to pursue meaningful compromise with the West in the near term. So he ain't trying to bow down. He's not trying to negotiate. This is what the analysts is all saying. Trump's not liking it. Trump's already dissing him. You done killed his father. Now you're saying he's not gonna last long. He's a lightweight. He's a nobody, and he's not taking that position without the U.S.'s approval, giving him every bit of reason to go all out. Here we go. Iran has a new supreme leader, and by virtually every expert assessment, he is more dangerous, more ideologically extreme, and more deeply entangled with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps than the father he just replaced. So he's even more hardcore. New boss, worse than the old boss. In other words, Mujtaba Khomeini, named the position in the early hours of March 8th, 2026, takes power at the most chaotic and vulnerable moment in the Islamic Republic's 47-year history. And that context matters enormously for what comes next. Attacks on ships in the Strait of Hormuz escalate as Iran launches intense strikes. Yeah, so they've had major issues with that Strait of Hormuz, man. All of the oil that needs to get into the Middle East countries, Saudi Arabia and all them. We talked about that last week, man. They're not getting their energy, their power. The reason for famine could kick in because 90+% of the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and such countries rely on imports for all of their sustenance. That's getting shut down. Oil tankers getting destroyed. Energy costs going up. Fuel costs going up. So we're talking about global catastrophes, economic collapse in multiple countries. That's part of the warfare too. That's part of World War III. It ain't just nukes and bombs. Because remember, Yahweh Shah said there's going to be famine, famines and pestilence. What comes with, disease? That can come from, starvation, desperation, lack of health care, lack of power, lack of energy. All those things can, no hospitals. That increases disease and issues and whatnot, more death. So this is a big deal. Attacks near the Strait. 3 vessels were hit by unknown projectiles near the Strait of Hormuz today. The UK Maritime Agency said, meanwhile, 3 crew members on board of a Thai vessel remain unaccounted for after it was stuck today. Sources told CNN Tehran had begun laying mines in the key waterway. So they're shutting that whole thing down. And on this note, while we're talking about the boats, there was a report that China has got hundreds of quote unquote fishing boats strategically getting placed over there in the South China Sea, and they wondering whether or not they're going to go to war. They're utilizing this as a I didn't put it in here, but just to kind of look real quick. See, look at this. Thousands of Chinese boats mass at sea raising questions. And look at down here. Hold on. I just want to see at the bottom of the article. It says some experts said the only plausible explanation was that China was testing its ability to marshal a large number of fishing vessels that could potentially be deployed in a military operation, such as a blockade or an invasion of Taiwan or a crisis with Japan. I've never seen a massing of Chinese fishing boats in these numbers anywhere outside of the port ever, Gregory Poling, director of the Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative at the Washington-based Center for Strategic and International Studies, said at the December 25th event. Notice there it says the maneuvers were a demonstration with military lenses. So this is just a side note. China is getting caught up in military exercises, operating and moving their fishing boats, and the fishing boats are essentially damn near equivalent to their military boats, and they're moving them en masse over there. They got Taiwan over there tripping. Japan's over there like, oh snap, was about to go down. Remember 2027, according to Xi Jinping, he said, man, if Taiwan don't roll over and become part of China again, we're taking it back by force and shutting them down. So we got a year before they say that might go down. And who knows where we'll be at with this Middle East situation. This is why when you hear about the kings of the East going to war, this is all lining up perfectly. So if you see what's going down, you'll know and understand even more as time goes on. Mind you, we're only 2 weeks into this Middle East war. Give it to the end of this year, and then going into next year if everything cracks off between China and Iran. I mean, China and Taiwan. That's a whole nother conflict America's got interest in. Breaking: U.S. intercepts top secret Iran message to activate sleeper cells across the world. I think everybody can kind of agree that maybe this is exactly what's been going on this past week, as we've been seeing back to back incidences jumping off. Most I can say is, you got some copycats, you got some mentally deranged, and then you got legitimate sleeper cells out there getting it cracking. You had the one cat from the Sudan that shot up the bar down there in Austin, Texas last week. Another cat put to death a professor and the ex Army soldier at Old Dominion University. Yeah, the crash out at the synagogue in Detroit. Somebody else ran into, I'm talking, y'all seen it, but let me just prove it. So, and you know what's so cold? I got a different article here. America knew this was going down, and they said, don't say anything. Here's the leaked report. Read: leaked Iran terror report details that Trump didn't want you to see. List of top targets and horrifying ways they will strike America. A shocking intelligence report that was blocked by the White House. Did you hear that? Blocked by the White House. As they always are trying to do, cover that up, redact that, hold that back, don't say anything about this. I saw it, but I didn't see it. Look, all the damn games they be playing up there, man. So the U.S. blocked this particular report from coming out. Warns that Iran could launch waves of terrorist attacks on the U.S. soil, including assassinations, bombings, and stabbings because of the president's new war. A leaked copy exclusively obtained by the Daily Mail shows. The FBI, Homeland Security, and the National Counterterrorism Center were preparing to put out the joint statement last week to state and local authorities, alerting them of heightened threat from Iran, detailing potential methods of attack and encouraging vigilance. The White House blocked the report from being issued to law enforcement nationwide on Friday after Homeland Security and officials flagged the report to them. The move infuriated members of the intelligence community who argued that those bulletins typically are issued without input from the White House to avoid politicizing intel communications. I'm going to stop there. Why are they trying to block it? Why don't they want that information out? You should already, your wheel should already be clicking. False flags. Like Oscar Rob said, hey, psyops. They're activating all of this stuff, man, because what do they need? They need more reasons to try to justify their bloodlust going on over there, turn up the heat, Doomsday planes going on over there, more troops on the, sending the troops on the ground. They need to justify this because they started this. They're trying to get regime change. They're trying to get control of that Strait of Hormuz. Remember, man, this dude has always been after the resources. He's been after the oil. He's been after the resources coming from particular countries, from Greenland to Venezuela to Cuba to Argentina. I mean, Ecuador now. He done ran down over there, Mexico. Now they got information saying, hey, man, the sleeper cells finna get out, and we got information. Shh, don't say anything. We don't want that out. So the alert warned the messages could be intended to activate or provide instructions to pre-position sleeper assets operating outside the originating country. Heightened concern among federal law enforcement and security agencies. Authorities are repeatedly monitoring potential threats and coordinating with international partners to mitigate any risk. Okay, let's see what's going down. I don't need to read that one. Here we go. Explosives thrown near New York City mayor's residence, investigated as ISIS-related terrorism. They tried to hit him up twice. The mayor of New York, Mamdani, to no avail. I think these young cats, man, probably learned how to make an explosive device and tested it out. Never tested it out, because the first one they threw, it was lit and fizzled out, and he took off running. It didn't work. So these guys are amateurs, zealot amateurs. But again, who was it? J.D. Vance got his windows busted out and hammered. They caught the little Edomite that did that. Somebody hit Mar-a-Lago, little young Edomite again. Mom Donnie then got hit with a couple of explosive device threats. So when the scriptures speak about Second Ezra, about them not regarding their princes or authoritative figures, in other words, in Second Ezra, hopefully it opens up. All right, son of a damn thing. I'll never want to do it when I need it. Throws the spirit off. 15, when y'all know where I'm going. And 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. So you're seeing people are not respecting authoritative figures anymore, man. The president, he didn't got his ear nicked off. For those who believe that, that went down, and he jumps up and fight. And, the WWF stuff going on. Who knows what was going on with that whole thing? Supposed multiple attempts on his life. The VP's house get busted up and broken into. You've seen judges and lawyers and city officials, them getting smoked throughout the times, right? They had to break in over there at Mar-a-Lago. They had to lay somebody down. So they're not regarding kings nor princes. So authoritative powers, man, are not going to be respected in these last days, man. People are not going to give a damn what title you hold, what your badge says, what agency you with. That the scriptures tell us that. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Everybody's going to do what's right in their own eyes. It's going to be about survival of the fittest. It's going to be about mob rule. Your network and what you're able to sustain is all hell is breaking loose. That's why Zuckerberg is building a multi-million-dollar bunker so he can get the hell out of Dodge. Bunker building and all of that is on the rise right now. I seen an article, some cat out of I think out of Texas, man. He said business is booming right now. People are looking for ways to escape. As the scriptures say, what is it? Revelation I think it's in Revelation 6 or it's in Revelation 9 where it said they're gonna be trying to cause the rocks to fall upon them and trying to hide. And Isaiah 2 says the same thing. But we see what's going on. So here we go. A little act of terrorism. Look at the White House locked down as a driver smashes into the gate. That happened. FBI warns Iran aspired to attack California with drones in retaliation for war. Is alert. I didn't buy this, but there you have it. And it just so happens too that they had two cats, man, got away with four drones stolen from a military base right after this came out. So this is like false flag, wink wink. Hey, we got an intel that says Iran's going to hit the West Coast with drones. Oh, guess what? Some masked guys just got away with 4 drones from a military base. Oops. Who's going to do that? Who could be possibly behind that? Come on, man. You lay out the damn story and then everything happens to fall right in line. Okay. FBI warned police departments in California in recent days that Iran could retaliate for American attacks by launching drones at the West Coast. So they recently acquired information that as early as February 2026, Iran allegedly aspired to conduct a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles from an unidentified vessel off the coast of the United States homeland, specifically against unspecified targets in California in the event that the U.S. conducted strikes against Iran. Anyway, Job 24:17 says, "For the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death." See, that's why you got America is operating in the spirit of fear. Now that they're putting out the word, oh, the sleeper cells is here. Terrorism is on the rise. Remember, Trump even said that they're fighting against the world leader of the world's biggest funders of terrorism or whatever. They're labeling Iran top terrorist country in the world and all of that. Putting the fear and instilling the fear in the people, right? So it says the morning is to them even as a shadow of death. They wake up in the morning thinking about death. They think this could be it for them. Scared to get on the bus, scared to go to work, scared to drive, scared to walk into a crowded area. They don't know what the hell's going to happen. Oh, heard Iran's got drones, man. They about to hit the West Coast. Get ready. But again, we're not going to get caught up in the lies and the folly. Of course, you stay vigilant. Of course, you're not going to be ignorant of any matter, small or great. But I'm looking for the false flag of America doing this to their own, as they've have known to do in times past, in order to blame somebody else so that they can get cracking on something even bigger. Hey, look, man, look at Nero. Nero burned down Rome and then said it was the Christians. Esau is no stranger to self-sabotage and then go blame somebody else so he can pull out a greater agenda. Job 18:14, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. So he's going to be ruled by terror. The king of terrors is the Most High, ultimately. But this is the obsession of terrorism and all that. That's why they are concerned about domestic terrorists. Is it homegrown? Remember, Trump said that there's an enemy within that needs to be rooted out. Remember when he first got elected? So this is everything that he's talking about, cleaning the swamp. Meanwhile, he brought in more damn water moccasins and alligators and caiman and black widows and everything else and cobwebs, creating his own swamp. Look, terror attacks at Michigan Synagogue and Virginia University rattle sense of safety in American communities. Yeah, see that? American communities are now all concerned and scared, dealing with what? Terrorism now. And the small hat GMOs are jumping out the window saying, we need more protections. What are you going to do about it? We want more help. They already are out here begging. I thought these were the children of the Most High. This is the anointed. The Most High said, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. You're supposed to be fighting with the spirit of David. You're supposed to have the ancestor spirit in you. What are you begging and crying for America to give you more protection and more help? They're being persecuted. What? Our people have been getting persecuted and being hunted and shot down by our own people, by the police, and by other nations for centuries. And we tired of begging for help. Lamentation says, man, on all our hopes, we've been waiting on a nation that could not save us. So what are they doing? Pro-Iranian hackers claim cyber attack on a major U.S. medical device maker. Yeah, I work in this industry, and I got the emails like, we've had a cyber attack on the system. It didn't affect my particular work, but I definitely got the email on this.
There's one simple hearing hack anyone can use to improve their hearing almost overnight. Fox News alert. A pro-Iranian hacker group is claiming responsibility for a major cyber attack on a U.S. medical device maker, marking the first notable pro-Iranian hack against U.S. infrastructure since Operation Epic Fury began. The company, Stryker, releasing a statement saying, quote, "We are continuing to resolve the disruption impacting our global network resulting from the cyber attack. At this time, there is no indication of malware or ransomware, and we believe the situation is contained to our internal Microsoft environment only."
Yeah, they were saying that at least by the email that I got at work, they said it had to do with like some surgical equipment and some stuff like that. But it didn't, it didn't do no real major damage. But the fact that those things are getting tapped into, there's a show, I don't know if anybody's ever seen it. It's on HBO called The Pit. And it's a show revolving around the ER ER hospital in Pittsburgh, and all of the things they go through. But there's a particular episode where they get hit with a cyber attack, and all of their electronics, everything goes down, and they got to resort back to doing everything manually. And it just shows you how difficult the transition was for everything to go back to being on paper, to running things up and down, to different departments. Instead of you used to be able to just electronically send your requests and your information and your medical records, or a referral or whatever, or the x-rays, people they had to run them up and down, down the stairs and elevators and all that other stuff. Man, they was really struggling because everybody got used to the technology. So all it takes is something major like that for them to hit the hospitals and all that, man. They set everything back to the Stone Age, man. It'll be back in the damn 80s. And a lot of these doctors and everything that's coming up right now, especially utilizing the technology, they ain't ready to make them transition to go back to anything old school. Everything is all based upon robotics and everything now. AI, they'll be hit bad if this goes down there or got any bigger. All right, let's continue on. Trump administration allows for Russian oil sales as energy prices soar. Putin is sitting back, licking his chops, man, rubbing his hands together like Birdman, because now America's had to go back, bow down, and tell Putin, man, we're going to lift them sanctions on you, man. Get your money. We're going to make it temporal, but you got that oil. You got all the cards right now. We'll allow your energies, you to sell your oil because our allies need it. That Strait of Hormuz is giving us problems. And Putin is sitting back laughing all the way to the bank. The Trump administration on Thursday night temporarily lifted sanctions on Russian oil shipments in an effort to calm markets and stem the economic fallout from his war on Iran, which has sent crude prices spiraling upward. Yeah, remember Trump was saying that him ending the war, or wiping the floor with Iranian military and leadership, was going to lead to oil prices dropping. Oh, he didn't make mention that that didn't go according to plan, and he actually had to go and bow down to Putin. That's what that phone call was about last week. He tried to make it seem like, yeah, we had a great discussion, and and Putin offered him to intervene and to create a peace plan to stop it. Trump was like, no, we ain't talking about that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to lift them sanctions so you can get that money. Because remember last week, Putin was like, you know what? I think I'm going to cut Europe off. And I'm going to expand my market to see who else needs my oil. Who else can I get this money from and send this oil and this energy over to? And starve out Europe. Trump couldn't allow that, so he said, "Hey, calm down. I'll take the sanctions off, man. You can get paid. Get yours." Everything is backfiring on the Trump, man. Agent Orange Man is getting clowned, but he's running around here so proud, like a little peacock out here, acting like he's just running the show, man. But he's getting kicked in his ass every which way but loose. Now look at Trump furious at Israel for destroying Iran oil fields as price of crude surges and planned war summit collapses, fanning the flames. Trump is furious after Israel targeted Iran's oil depots in blitz that shocked the White House amid soaring oil prices. So he's looking like, look, man, His little GMO small hat controllers, man, they over there going crazy because you know how they do. There's no limits to the death and destruction and the mayhem that they cause. They blowing up everything, and Trump is like, hold on, man, hey, this is affecting me. It's making me look bad. I got all kind of confusion going on at home, man. My allies and my MAGA cult, they're all departing and leaving me. They're turning on each other. They're cannibalizing each other over this, man. Hey, what are you doing? You're making it worse. A planned summit between the U.S. and Israel was scrapped on Monday in the first open disagreement between the allies since the war broke out. Oh, two can't walk together unless they be agreed? Oh, okay. Satan casting out Satan. Kingdom be divided against itself. Can't stand. Oh, is it problems in paradise? 30 Iranian fuel depots were obliterated over the weekend with apocalyptic images showing fires leaping into the sky, huge columns of smoke, and black oily rain falling from the sky. Yeah, they were talking about acid rain jumping off. Now imagine that he was just bragging about how low gas prices was 2 months ago. Now look at it. Oil surges above $100 as Gulf states cut back production. They're talking about reaching $120. It gets to 120, man. California alone talking $7, $8 a gallon. For the rest of y'all that's used to having $3, it's going up to $5 and some. Trump triggers world financial panic as war chaos spirals. Yeah, this is based upon the war, the energy, the oil. Economic and financial panic is going on throughout the world. It ain't just us here. All over the world, they feeling it, man. The Japanese markets, you know, help the economy. The European markets help the global economy. Everybody getting hit, and this is only 2 weeks in, man. Strap up, buckle up, man. That's why I say, and it's been at the top of the rooftops for years now, telling y'all, be prepared. Get your ish in order. Make sure that you've got some provision. You talk about preparing, I ain't gonna say you when the bomb drop. I'm not talking about no bombs. We're talking about real life situations, layoffs, food shortages, water contamination. All that's gonna be going down. And if you don't have your stuff in order, man, and you ain't got it for your family, man, or you ain't preparing your congregation or your flock and then putting the bug in their ear and giving them the resources to help them sustain themselves, you are going to be held accountable. Because you know better, you understand it, and everybody's not going to be able to just float by on faith. Manna's not going to drop from the sky, and quails ain't just going to be popping up in front of your apartment. Faith without works is dead. So as some of these things start to escalate, you should be starting to get your stuff together. When that strait gets shut down, that means it's going to cost some more money for them trucks to come on in. It's going to cost more money for them ships and for them ports to open up and get them supplies up in here. It's going to cost more money for your travel to and from work. All that other stuff, man. Food, those things are going to go back up again. So have some things in order so that you can maintain in the event that, you know, you hit a rough patch. And you ain't got to say, damn, what am I going to eat? What am I going to do? You got some things where you ain't have to do the same panic and run into the damn. You see what happened when the bid hit? People fighting in the stores over toilet paper and all this other stuff. And you ain't got to do a whole lot, man. You ain't got to do a whole lot. I mean, you can go get a gallon of water from your grocery store or from even the Dollar Tree or wherever for $1.50. Instead of spending that $10 on that new what the McDonald's CEO call it, a product, on that new Big Mac, I mean, spend $7 on 7 gallons of water, and the other, $3 and some change, man. Get you, a couple cans of some beans, man, and a little pack of rice. That'll sustain you for a couple of days if you need it. If it's just you by yourself, divide that up for your family, your household, man. Everybody should have a gallon a day. If you don't drink a gallon, at least you stretch out half a gallon for 2 days. Like, do the math, man. The information and knowledge is out there, man. There's no reason why anybody shouldn't be thinking on these particular terms. But if the scriptures tell us that famine's going to be coming, victuals is going to be coming up short, the ground is going to be, Exodus 2nd Ezra 16 tells us that the ground is not going to be able to be yielding up crops and all of that. So, just think about it, man. So this is global. Jake talking about, man, I'm moving to Africa. I'm moving to the Caribbean. I'm getting out of here. They're gonna be even worse. The place is gonna be even worse in many situations if you don't have everything in order. So think about it, man. Look at this. Concerning map shows state hit hardest by soaring gas prices as fuel goes above $5 a gallon. Look at the most hit states. The West Coast, you can forget about it, man. Anybody thinking about this is some rest haven and come here, stay away. This is no joke out here. But you can see, I missed the color grid, but obviously red is the worst. I think the light blue is the third. I mean, basically it's color coded. The lighter, the cheaper it is, the darker, the worse it is. Right? Look at this. This is out here. This is downtown LA. That's not Photoshop. It's not fake news. They're already price gouging. Drivers post their painful fill-up totals as Iran war pushes gas prices higher. Now, depending on where you at in California and what particular city or county, it depends on how, gas is. Where I'm at, Supreme, at the cheapest, like an Arco, is like $5.50. If you go into like Shell, Chevron, like this right here, it's $5.80 something for the Supreme. The regulars, nothing is below $5.20 something. Now this is downtown, but they gouging out for $8 already, and this is only 2 weeks in. This ain't fake news. This is what's really going on. Nasty. But watch how the Mockingbird media plays this. Don't worry. Trump's already gave us a phrase and a sing-along to get along.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes. We've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Do you see why they're called the Mockingbird media? They receive their talking points. Here you get the quote of the day. Just like it was, yes, we can, build back better. Now, this is the slogan to ease the calm of the economic pricing and the pain that comes at the pump, pain coming at the grocery stores, pain coming at your car note, your mortgages, your all this other stuff. Oh, it's just short-term pain for a long-term gain. We got to go through the short term. Yeah, it's going to be painful, but in the long term, we're going to have great gain. We're going to build America great again. You're going to be rich. You get a car. You get a car. You get a house. Get the F out of here, man. We all see that this is all propaganda. This is all BS. And they put the media up there and they all are parroting the same old thing.
Term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers. We may have to deal with that in the short term. Short-term and temporary.
Temporary.
But do y'all see the news network? Fox News is the one who's putting his narrative out there. They're Trump apologists. So you know they're compromised. Look at the bottom, you see everyone say it's all Fox. See this? Fox News.
For the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers. We may have to deal with that in the short term. Short-term and temporary.
Temporary, short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short term.
Short-term.
Short-term, 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 and long-term.
Short-term left.
Hopefully this is a short-term pain. Short-term is highly out.
I mean, you can't make this up, man. You cannot make this up. You've seen CNN in there, mostly Fox. All of the conglomerate media heads up in there, man. Short term. You can't make this up, man. This is how you know that this is all fake. It's all fake. You talk about a matrix, man. You're living in it.
Weight of the
shots fired at the U.S. consulate in Toronto. More quote unquote terrorism going on. But who's they shooting at? The U.S. consulate in Toronto. So the cells have been activated, man. They not doing the damage that you would think outside of the one brother that got put to death over there, Old Dominion, and the small hat that got hit up over there in Detroit. But for the most part, man, we're seeing them coming out slowly but surely. What was this? I don't even remember what I put on it. Oh. Yeah, this is Putin, man. He was talking about halting all the energy supplies going to Europe. He's about to shut them down.
That EU countries from 25th of April plan to impose additional restrictions on Russian LNG and energy, all the way to imposing a complete ban on such supplies in 2028. In this regard, I've already instructed the government to evaluate the possibility of stopping energy supplies to the European market without waiting for the door to be shut in our face. And
so we talked about this one last week too. He was saying, I'm not even going to wait until the deadline of them saying that we were going to get sanctioned in March. I'll just cut you off now. And now you see Trump come in and say, hold on. Vladdy, baby. Hey, come on. Don't get crazy, man. Hey, we'll lift the sanctions up. You can get some money. Matter of fact, I got uses. I got some friends over here who need your help. You can get some money. Calm down. And now Putin sitting back laughing all the way to the bank, man. And remember what he was talking about Obama? He was talking about, we're going to go to war in the Middle East because you got a weak president who can't negotiate and all this other stuff. And it's him. He's speaking about himself all this time. All that tough talk about the art of the deal and all this other stuff, man. I mean, what kind of deals? I mean, don't get me wrong. Now, granted, his whole little empire started off with a nice little chunk of change that his pops gave him. But at the same time, hey, he made some business deals, man. You can't front that he ain't got no bread. He got bread. But the art of the deal, 6 bankruptcies, including a casino, all these particular deals and agreements that's been going on over here. The tariff deal went bad on him. All that saving trillions of dollars in Doge, that went bad on him. All of his little international friends that he thought he had, they all went bad on him. Sanctions here, there. Now he got to double back and say, "Well, I'm gonna temporarily take them off because I'm in a tough spot right now." It's too bad. Anybody else doesn't think we're in the spirit of World War III and that things ain't coming up? NATO country slammed as armed forces bill raises military reserve age to 65. Can you imagine? They're talking about reserves. They want cats fighting out there until you 65. The government plans to enlist veterans over the age of 60 into the pool of reserve soldiers has been condemned as, quote, political gesturing. The government intends to raise the age at which the Army Strategic Reserve, the nation's pool of retired soldiers, can be called up from 55 to 65. All hands on deck. Everybody's in. Why are they even getting that nervous over there in Britain? Because they like, hey, look, this thing might go down and we need all the help we can get. You got a cat sitting back, you know, he retired from his military service, 55, and next thing you know, you get a notice saying, scratch that. 65 now. Keep your phone on. World War III is about to break out. We're gonna need your old ass to come up in here and get on the front line and get slaughtered. All for the king. It's bad out there, man. And I've seen some reports too, man. They were talking about Trump talking about bringing the enacting the draft here. Floating that idea, man. They were talking about automatically. You know, when you get out, you're supposed to register for the draft, you know, at 18. But they don't regulate everybody because they get enough people volunteering and going. But now they're talking about automatically. If you're anybody from 26 and under, is automatically getting. All right, mic check, mic check, mic check. Am I coming in? Those 7 in the chat. Do your brother that solid. Let me know. Mic check, mic check, mic check. All right. I think that mic died on me. All right, all praises for the backup. Let's get back to it, man. We're almost done. We're almost at the home stretch. Who's still with me, man? Anybody want to sleep yet? Y'all still riding with me? All right, all praises. All right. So see over there in Great Britain, man, they already increasing the age for retirement to 65, man. They getting anybody and everybody up in there, man. Okay. In case and you always know on the back end, what are they back there doing in the background, man? While everybody's looking to the left, to the right, and everything in front of them, what's going on behind them is you're building a digital ID system for 450 million people. So you still got to consider the system of the beast still moving forward. They ain't distracted by no dang war. That's all part of the plan. 450 million people, man, they trying to get lined up, getting ready for the new changeover to the digital ID system. European Union is quietly constructing what may become one of the most sweeping digital identity systems ever attempted. Under new legislation, every EU member state must provide citizens with a government-approved European digital identity wallet. By 2026, this system will allow people to store official documents, verify identity, access government services, sign legal contracts, and potentially interact with financial institutions through a single digital platform. It is being marketed as a modernization effort designed to make life easier for citizens navigating an increasingly digital economy. So, in case y'all was wondering or didn't remember, yes, that's still going down. The B system, the digital ID, the global dominance based upon the digital system, AI enforced, is still on deck, man. Everybody get caught up and distracted with the war. Through the ashes of the war, they're going to try to come with a whole new way to mark and identify people and create a new system for everybody to be aligned with. And they're all fighting for the dominant and the global control of everything. That's still moving fast forward too. Right? Look at this. Here it go. U.S. Army base raid sparks manhunt after masked men stole 4 drones and escaped in getaway cars amid Iran attack fears. You know, this ironically happens after the FBI got intel that Iran was planning on some drone strikes on the West Coast. And here they go, just 2 masked men all of a sudden, you know, get away with 4 drones. Believe it if you want to, or, you know, the narrative, I should say. Because don't get me wrong, they can definitely go and hit something up. Can you imagine Hollywood get hit with something? The SoFi Stadium, what's the Clippers Arena? They all in same proximity here in Inglewood. The Intuit Dome, that's what the Clippers thing. They got the Kia Dome is the old Forum. All of these are within a mile radius, damn near what, mile and a half radius of each other. The Forum is on Manchester, or the Kia Forum, I think they call it, the Kia Dome. That's on Manchester and Prairie. And the Intuit Dome is on Century and Prairie. And the SoFi Stadium, the Rams and the Charger Stadium is in between them. All on Prairie, all on the same street. Manchester and Century is less than 2 miles from each other, north and south. Let one of them stadiums get hit, where a crowd of people is gathering at. I mean, who knows, man? I bet you these guys work for the damn CIA or the Army intelligence or something. Or they could be just some stooges, man. They can take pictures and who knows? I don't trust nothing coming from them, man. Short-term gain, long-term pain. You want to believe the narratives, man. Go ahead. Not me. Who knows? Right. But the scriptures say, man, be not ignorant of any matter, small or great. So we take everything into consideration, weigh it in the balance it out via the scriptures, man. If it don't add up, man, you know, as Johnny Cochran used to say, if it don't fit, you must have quit. If it don't match up, man, if it ain't looking right, and then you still got to know the ways of your enemy, man. You got to know the tactics that he's willing to go through in order to obtain an objective. He has no problem sacrificing people. Short-term gain, long-term pain, whatever. Short-term pain, long-term gain. Yeah, you got no problem doing that, man. So with that being understood, prayerfully, man, this was edifying for brothers and sisters, man. I'm going to get up out of here. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, while you're outside, man. Hopefully everybody is being vigilant with your Passover preparations coming up on the 1st. Make sure you're doing your proper purging of your households. Not only that, but your own internal leavening, that malice, that wickedness, that unrighteousness, that faithlessness. All of those things, man, that's got to get purged up out of us in this particular time right now. So with that being said, Lord willing, everybody's preparing themselves accordingly. April 1st, again, is a Passover. If anybody needs a detailed listing of forms of leaven, it's not just, brothers and sisters, listen, it's not just yeast and baking soda. Remember, our enemy is cunning, he's slick, he's conniving, he's deceiving. Throughout the years, we've started compiling a list of understanding other ingredients that are leavening agents or things that contain leaven that's used under biological or chemical names that you may need to know when you're going through your purging, right? So don't just think I'm just getting rid of the bread and the crackers, man, I'm clean. No, remember, man, we're dealing with the devil. He operates on a whole nother level of defilement. So if you need a more detailed list to do your cleansing and your purging, mind you, we only got 2 weeks. Email us, thecovenant144@gmail.com, or you can hit me on Instagram, Messengers of the Covenant, and I'll send you a copy of the list so that you can be more thorough and more vigilant, for the Lord, man. So not only is it just about the physical, but spiritually, that's the bigger part. The spiritual cleansing, the spiritual purging that we need to be focused in on, man. So don't forget that. All right. That being said, your brother's gonna get up out of here, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High while you have a side, man. Always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, but don't shoot the messenger. See y'all tomorrow, Most High permit, man. We got closing Shabbat class happening at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join us then. Shalom.